Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Black Ops Character Analysis. Today we're going to be doing Jason Hudson. So he's a special agent in the CIA, and he shows up in Black Ops 1 and 2. Again, not going to be talking about his role in Cold War. I know he was in there, but not really going to be talking about his role in Cold War. Only in Black Ops 1 and 2, which he was in. So we're going to be talking about this. So let's get into it. So as always, get my info from the COD Wiki. Special Agent Jason Hudson is a character originally featured in Call of Duty Black Ops 1 as a CIA agent. Hudson was Alex Mason's handler in 1968. Hudson was also the agonist. I would never ever know how to pronounce that, so I'm sorry. Of Black Ops and a supporting character of the 1980s missions of the Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Hudson is also playable in the Black Ops mode of COD 4 in his original Black Ops outfit, as well as a unique outfit called Vacation Hudson. Hudson later returned to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War campaign along with Mason and Frank Woods. We're not really going to be talking about that part. So let's talk a little bit about his early history. Jason Hudson was born in Washington, D.C. on March 26, 1932. He was a member of the U.S. Army's 101st Airborne Division and served during the Korean War. He was honorably discharged in 1955, after he left the military. He enrolled in Georgetown University and double majored in psychology and political science. He was recruited right out of Georgetown University on recommendations from his academic advisor and former OSS field operative Marshall Bryant, recipient of the Intelligence Star in 1950. Hudson is an excellent tactician and mission coordinator, bringing full brunt of his genius-level IQ to the field. As such, he has earned great trust within the halls of Langley and undoubtedly will go far considering his ability to command a room in crisis management. As one associate said, Jason has a way with words. When he speaks, you can't help but listen. Though much of his work keeps him away from the front lines, Hudson is a very capable soldier, particularly when the mission calls for an element of subtlety and finesse. Hudson flew with Alex Mason to the Pentagon, where they met United States Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara, and then escorted Mason to meet U.S. President John F. Kennedy. Hudson did not participate in the meeting, however, so he did not have the security clearance. Jason Hudson, CIA, we're here to talk about your encounter with the Russians in Laos. We have a word a defector might be in play. That was a quote from him. 1968, the Studies of Observation Group was established in Vietnam to disseminate the Soviets' presence. Hudson worked together with Mason and Frank Woods defending the Quezon. Later, Hudson and Weaver tortured Dr. Daniel Clark, an engineer who stabilized Nova 6 in Kowloon, Hong Kong. Clark identifies Nazi scientist Frederick Steiner as part of the project, and he reveals that the location of the hidden facility in Mount Yamato before being killed during an attempt to escape Soviet Spetsnaz. Hudson and Weaver head to Mount Yamato to destroy the facility and apprehend Steiner. Steiner, however, is not there, but informs them of Dragovich's plans, his plan to exchange a way to stop Dragovich for his own safety, and his location. They head to Rebirth Island, where they had to race age against Mason before he could kill Steiner. At Rebirth Island, Weaver and Hudson command Alpha Squad, a team established to extract Steiner. However, Mason got to Steiner first, and they watch as Mason executes Steiner. Following the death of Steiner, Hudson and Weaver interrogate Mason continuously. Hudson realized that Nikita Dragovich brainwashed Mason to understand the numbers in the broadcast, effectively becoming a Soviet sleeper agent. The duo repeatedly play the numbers sequence to Mason, but to no avail. Out of options, Hudson deliberately sets Mason free in order to follow him. Mason then punched him in the face, knocked him out. It is revealed that Reznov died during the Vorkuta breakout, which he was, we thought, in the game that he survived, but he actually died during the Vorkuta breakout. And Mason's visions of Reznov are a result of a personality disorder caused by the brainwashing program. Reznov had, in fact, reprogrammed him to assassinate Dragovich, Lev Kravchenko, and Frederick Steiner. Instead of President Kennedy, Richard Nixon, and Robert McNamara prior to the breakout. After subduing Mason, Hudson plays the numbers recording for Mason a final time, prompting him to remember the location of the number station, the Rusalka, a ship off the coast of Cuba. By dawn, the team launches an assault on the Rusalka, with Mason and Hudson infiltrating an underwater broadcast station protected by the ship, a Soviet submarine station intended to be used as a staging point for the U.S. invasion after the planned Nova 6 attack. Confirming that Rusalka is the number station, Hudson calls in the U.S. Navy to destroy the ship and its underwater base. Mason and Hudson finally found Dragovich in the lower levels of the facility and managed to kill him before the destruction of the base. Swimming for the surface during the destruction of the targets, though Sergeants Mastias, Drew, and Aziz are killed in the process, Weaver declares victory and Mason is unsure. So that was pretty much his Black Ops 1 story, so we're going to go into a little bit of his Black Ops 2 story. By 1986, Hudson was still a CIA operative when Woods went missing in Angola. Hudson and Lieutenant Colonel Oliver L. North went to Alaska to get the now retired Alex Mason to go to Angola to save Woods. Mason begrudgingly accepted the mission. Hudson said that David Mason's 7-year-old son could stay with Jenny, his wife. When in Angola, Mason and Jonas Savimbi, the leader of the UNTIA forces, fought on the ground of the leading a counterattack on now against the advancing MPLA. While Hudson flew a helicopter taking down the Soviet tanks used by the MPLA, the two had cut a deal with Savimbi, helped defeat the MPLA in exchange for Woods' location. At the end of the battle, Hudson and Mason flew to the barge on the river after defeating several soldiers. Hudson and Mason found Woods locked in a cargo crate full of badly decomposed bodies in Woods' unit. As soon as Mason and Woods get out of the crate, a hind converged on the barge. Mason managed to destroy the chopper with the boat running aground just before the chopper crashed. But Woods fell into the river. Mason saved him, and the three managed then to find an enemy radio tower. Hudson stayed behind to protect Woods while Mason went to call Savimbi for extraction. Things went badly, as Mason was compromised, but not before shooting Raul Menendez's eye out. Hudson then grabbed Woods and started to run to the boat on the river. When they finally got to the river under heavy fire, a hind then flew overhead. Hudson cursed, thinking defeat, but then he opened fire on the enemy soldiers. It turns out that Savimbi had captured the chopper for their extraction. Just as Hudson declared victory, putting on his sunglasses, he was shot in the shoulder by an enemy soldier, but Woods reacted quickly, shooting him in the head with a Browning HP, exclaiming, "You can't kill me." Savimbi then flew the trio away, which was probably the best quote in Black Ops 2, honestly, like, best moment. So we're going to kind of finally cap this off. We're going to talk about the story of Hudson's death and ultimately how he died, that's actually a spoiler alert. I actually mentioned it earlier, but yeah, Hudson did die, unfortunately, so we're going to go into that. After finding out about Menendez's survival thanks to Noriega, the U.S. government decided to carry out the invasion of Panama on December 20th, 1989, also known as Operation False Prophet. Hudson, however, did not participate as a combatant, but also provided support on communications. Sometime before the operation started, Menendez managed to capture 10-year-old David Mason and used him against Hudson. Hudson was forced to relay false information to Mason and Woods, who only had just managed to capture Noriega, also known as Objective False Prophet, saying that he had intel on the Nexus target. After Mason and Woods escaped Noriega throughout the town of the checkpoint, they split ways. Woods went with Noriega to the top of the building where he was given instructions by Hudson to kill the Nexus target, while Menendez. Only after taking the shot did Woods find out the man has actually shot Mason. Woods tried to kill Noriega in retaliation, but then he was shot in both legs by the real Menendez. Both Woods and Mason were taken to Hudson, who was tied up to the chair. Menendez informed them that one more must die, Hudson, Woods, or David. At first, Hudson was a bit hesitant, even mentioning to Woods that he had 2 children at home, but in the end, he decided to sacrifice himself so that Woods and David could live. Menendez then used the Spaz 12 to shoot Hudson's kneecap, then slit his throat with Josefina's locket. Hudson's body was then tossed aside while Menendez stated to Woods that Hudson and Mason's deaths would be the first moments of absolute loss in his life. So that's the end of Hudson in this Black Ops 1 and 2 timeline, which is really all I was going to talk about. So Hudson, it's a very unfortunate death, and it's real sad. I wish it didn't happen because I wouldn't say Hudson is up there as one of my favorite Black Ops characters, but he's cool. He's passable. I mean, I like him. He's an alright character by me. Like I said, I wouldn't call him one of my all-time favorites, but he's alright. I mean, he has a lot of different, he's very important in the story. He's Mason's handler, and he was the one that was interrogating Mason in the beginning and all that stuff. And he's very important core to the story of Black Ops 1 and 2. Primarily Black Ops 1. But, I mean, he's a good character. I think he was written good. It's just, like I said, I wouldn't call him one of my favorites, but he's definitely up there. So, yeah, unfortunately, though, Hudson did have to die. It was a real sad scene to see him die when you basically couldn't do anything as Woods. You really couldn't do anything, so it was real sad. So that's pretty much it. So make sure to subscribe for more content, like the video, all that good stuff. Discord, Twitch, Instagram, links in the description. I got some good series. I don't know, not really announcing anything, but I got some good stuff cooking up for the future. So stay tuned. I realized we have even more of an influx of subscribers. So welcome new guys, whoever's watching this. Welcome new subscribers. We're at 156 subscribers, guys. So I know we're really on the way. We got a huge increase in subscribers. So yeah. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this Black Ops character analysis series. We got a lot more to go, and I'll see you guys in the next video.